All right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome along to match day 4 of the Euro special, Champagne Hooligans. Boys, how are we?
I'm all right.
Excellent. I'm very good, actually. Probably as good as I've been on the start of this podcast.
Good. Pretty good.
Pretty good week. Pretty good week for the boys. Well, for 3 of the boys.
Lenny, what's got you so excited? What's got you so excited? There's nothing better in my life than a Stephen Lennon excited.
Stephen Lennon is on holiday right now, but by God, he's been on his phone more than he's been taking in the sights of the beautiful Croatia city of Dubrovnik.
That is correct. That is correct. And that is something I need to change. I really would like to detox off my phone, but there's just too much on the line. There's too much on the line at the moment that you have to keep your eye on the ball. Fortunately, Brino Keefe has taken his eye off the ball, and he will be dancing this evening, I believe, because of eventually, once you've had another 2 sangria.
Yeah, another bottle of wine. I'm halfway through my first.
Yeah.
Do we have a little warm-up video, little tonight on Love Island?
I'd love to do it, but seeing as my dog can't take videos for me, and that is the only option I have. Without making some weird, I'd have to make some weird, like.
Fox, will you sign off on the request for his expenses there? Just get him a little tripod there, please.
Yeah. Just get into dog park. Just get into dog park. Ask him.
No, that's just some random. Hey, I'm gonna just stand over here and like practice this weird dance where I'm like shaking my ass and stuff.
On the promenade.
The English guy, you got a good pal there.
Yeah.
English guy.
Transactional pal.
Yeah. No, he's not a fan of me, but.
Well, if you were to go and ask him to do this, he'd probably get a good kick out of it. So it could restore that relationship.
Brian, you talked about, it's not a big deal. No, it's fine. Like, as in, once you're in it, it's fine. But you seem to have a certain degree of trepidation at the moment.
No, I do. I still subscribe to that. So it was terrible. Like, as soon as Steve lucked out with the referee,
Brino, the Teflon Don, nothing sticks.
Lucked out. What are you talking about? Lucked out? It was 4-0.
Yeah, you lucked out. Yeah, but at 1-0 they got the second goal, which was a free kick.
At 1-0 they got the second goal. That's correct. That makes sense.
Yeah, but the second goal was a foul. I
didn't know Michael Owen was on the podcast tonight.
I think they got the third goal at 2-0, did they?
They did get the third goal at 2-0. Well, see. No,
and then they added a fourth for certainty.
Yeah,
I think that was at 3-0.
Stoppage time, basically. They wouldn't have gotten those if they didn't get the second.
They couldn't have got the third goal without getting the second goal. That is definitely true, and they could not have got the fourth without getting the third.
We explained the fucking rules of football tonight. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So,
Brian, when you're getting your clothes off, I'm going to give us the fucking dance of your lives, because this guy, growing up with him from our teenage years, he had one dance move on the dance floor. And it was good. It was a bit like this.
No,
he had the finger out.
No. Only Fox has it. Only Fox has it right. Yeah, you can't see the hips.
And do you know what? He'd go to fucking town on it as well. That's.
It wasn't a little twirly little shooter thing here.
No, it wasn't. It was exactly what Fox. It was a hip popping from side to side. I'd be popping a hip.
It was
To be honest, I should do my own TikTok.
No, I was about to say
that.
You have our permission to stick that into the choreographed TikTok.
Climax.
That could be a preview.
Yeah, we'll see. There's going to be a few practice runs, no doubt.
Great.
Yeah. So
send us a couple of those as well, please. Send us a couple of those just to whet our appetite.
Definitely not. They will be deleted immediately. No, but yeah, it's true. Once you're in it, it's definitely not as bad. Like, the thought of it is worse. Like I was saying, it's like a best man speech at a wedding. The thought of it is worse. Yeah. And then as soon as you're up there, it's like whatever.
But you don't know that because you're not up there yet. So let's see.
Well, no, once you're in, but I'm in it now. Like, I have it.
You'd love to be a fly on the wall, and he's like crumbling just as he starts recording on his own. He's like, I can't do it.
Shouting at himself. You idiot! Come on! 17 times
the
by
fucking
now.
game. Get in the fucking game, Brian.
You don't know me at all if you think that's That's the way I'd be going. But yeah, no, Steve lucked out. He lucked out. There's a conspiracy.
I told
to
you
get Denmark through to the final. It's an unbelievable conspiracy, and you can tell by the refereeing decisions. The red card at 3-0. It was only 3-0. It wasn't even close to a red card. Like it's just.
That's got nothing to.
It wasn't a red card, to be fair.
But it didn't change the
But
Denmark.
were
Wales
so
are crap. Wales are crap.
Yeah.
Wales are crap, but like
Wales aren't great.
Denmark are crap as well, especially with that Christian Eriksen. So
Denmark are not crap. Or not crap.
I don't know. They're becoming like
They have a European champion back. They have Damgaard, who looks very good. They have Dahlberg, who looks good. They've got Schäuble.
Came off the bench, who wouldn't have started the Champions League final, but someone got injured and didn't start, and wouldn't have played. Only someone got injured.
That's the way these tournaments go.
Who's like,
you know what? Like, there's that look
in the top fucking 5 in Serie A, whatever.
There's a few arguments. Obviously, you know, you got to have that one international player who's like unbelievable. Like, but then you have like the Switzerlands, who've never had like an unbelievable player. Maybe Hakan Yakin back in the day would have got a bit of Hakan Yakin. Yeah, he would have got a bit of stuff.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, well, you know, he was the big player, but like Switzerland always do well. You know, and maybe there was like too much emphasis on Eriksen. Obviously, it's horrendous what actually happened. Like, and I think they're definitely going to win their next game. Could they get further?
They're definitely going to win their next game. Then they've got England probably, and you would fancy England to shit themselves at some stage. So
yeah, the pressure's on. To be honest, England are going to shit themselves next round anyway. So
you think?
Yeah.
No pressure's on them now. Like, I mean, no pressure. Like, if you lose to Germany today, like, you know, or yesterday, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. It's not coming home. But like, they got to beat Ukraine, and they won't.
Yeah, I mean, give me shit. Of course, they got to beat Ukraine, or they're out. Is this like, you know, give me shit.
Yeah, no, but Brian,
2-0,
James is talking about the media reaction to them losing to Ukraine as well. Obviously, they would go out, but like
he's talking about the narrative as opposed to.
So shut the fuck up, Brian. And go practice your dance.
Keep sipping on your sangria because you're going to be dancing later, bitch.
Honestly, much worse than the dance is what happened to me in fantasy this week. So I'd be jumping on that bandwagon.
Well, yeah. Well, I would say the dance is the worst. The dance is definitely the most.
But funny enough, fancy is probably worse for Brian.
So I was out enjoying a round of golf on Sunday, and I thought about it once or twice in the front of the buggy. Always going to have a buggy with two of the individuals whom I was playing with, but I unfortunately got a little bit too into my game and therefore forgot to change my fantasy team.
Yeah. Shot 100, but like two into his game. Two into his game, but
we shot 100.
98, in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
To which I reply, I got of the year. Gonna have to edit that out. Absolutely no excuse. Just pulling it up here now for us. You know,
this is all come from Brian O'Keefe.
Yeah, and course. I still agree with that.
And then he went and did it.
Yeah.
The joy I found, the joy I took from Brian O'Keefe, forgetting his fantasy team yesterday and not changing Forsberg.
Just for listeners, I forgot to bring Forsberg in before the deadline. Only because I was on a call with you three idiots trying to, you know, improve.
Give out to us for not changing our teams.
No, and then got off the call. My alarm went.
Dissect his fantasy advice as well.
What I had
put in 3 Netherlands players and 4 Italy players. He said.
Yeah.
Well, it was the other way around, but yeah. No, it was. There's no excuse. I like, especially in a 6-game season or 6-week season, as
especially when they're playing Ukraine.
Fantasy is.
You know.
Yeah. No, look, there's no excuse. I probably lost it on the back of that.
Carlo Diaz.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, Lenny has got a new best friend. Who have you met Carl Diaz?
I'm not sure I've met him. I may have met him once, but I feel like I know him very well.
In doing my professional preparation for the podcast, I went through a text for the last week, and the end of like Carl Diaz chants that were coming through in our group WhatsApp. I was like, Lenny doesn't even know the guy.
Just for the listeners, Carlo is the owner of the team who's probably going to beat you in fantasy.
Yeah. So if Diaz loses it now, it's the biggest like. What would you say? Biggest pussy in
no
history.
comeback on Brian.
Shut.
There's no comeback on Brian if he loses this.
Brian,
this guy's an idiot.
You work on fantasy 24 hours a day.
Oh, it'd be the biggest choke. I don't, obviously, or I would have had changed my team.
23 hours a day. 23 hours a day. And unfortunately,
23 hours and 50 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Could you not have changed it earlier, though? No? Could you not have taken 5 minutes to change it earlier?
I was actually waiting for the Twitter update to see if Sweden had any injuries. Because that's the prep that needs to be done. But didn't get it in. No excuses. Diaz should now be 10-1.
Did you not just offer an excuse? Did you not just say you're waiting for?
Yeah. So there is excuses,
but no excuses.
No.
It's a very Premier League manager interview you're giving here.
No, it's not. I should have got it done.
Should have got it done, but I was on a call with the boys.
You asked me why I didn't do it
updates.
earlier. That's why I didn't do it earlier.
You said no excuses after you offered an excuse.
For not doing it earlier, not the excuse for not having it done at the deadline. So there's a difference. No, it'd be the biggest excuses.
All I'm hearing is excuses.
Yeah,
you're not permanent yet. All right, you're still on summer internship. Okay, just remember that. All right.
In your head, James.
If you don't win the fantasy, you don't get the contract. You don't get the contract, Brian.
Well, to be honest, my performance in fantasy already is for a game I never played this Euro fantasy. I've never played that international fantasy before.
What we have, we fucking what?
Yeah. Well, because, what I do, as you learned, like FPL back in the 07s, the 08s, like Sully even won a fucking league back then. And then O'Keefe got to grips with it, learned the ropes, and now I just school you every year.
So I read this article on Reddit, and the boys taught me how to play it, and now I talk about being a pro player all the time, and I think the boys are
don't use Reddit, but no, I am. I'm a pro.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you look at the team, you can even see from last week where everyone got 20, 30 points. If you got above 30, you had a good week, right? And myself and Diaz coming in with 58 and 59.
Don't put yourself in the bracket with Diaz.
I'm way better than Diaz.
You're the first loser. You're the bracket with the rest of us.
No, I'm not in your bracket. There is no way I'm in your bracket.
Who cares who finished second? Who cares who finished second?
For the listeners, I have an image of the week-to-week performance of me versus Steve, and now Steve has been like
week-to-week performance.
No. The images that we want this evening are of your fine behind.
And you'll get those images. That's a video. I'll
we want the
image into the edit here.
No, we just want image after image after image, which actually is a video. So that's what Slade was talking about.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's 60 frames per second. So you want 60 images a second for 15 seconds.
You're our intern, so you do what the fuck we want.
Yeah,
we don't want the video.
900 images in 15 seconds. Okay. Yeah. No, if Diaz is a good player, he wouldn't beat me over 38-week season, judging by some of the selections. But
we might have to get Diaz in for.
Honestly, if you divided points per week played, where actually I fucking paid attention to it, I guarantee I would beat the O'Keefe. If somebody wants to be a PA to me when it comes to fantasy.
Actually, speaking of which, I forgot to mention this last week. But Steve and I had, I tried to up the me versus Steve fantasy stakes. And I can't believe I forgot to mention this. So we had a few drinks on us. There was, I can't remember Steve being on holiday, but I offered him $5,000 1v1. Like no matter what else is in the league, $5,000. He's like, that's just ridiculous. So I was like, whatever, okay, grand. And he goes, no, but I'll do 500. So will he still do 500 against me in fantasy next year, Steve? On top of whatever the league normally, there's just me versus you, whoever finishes ahead of the other.
About that, Brian, I have to think about that. You're using my words against me at a time when
these are the words. These are the time to use them against.
These are the words of a madman. They're the words of a madman. To be fair,
is that you? Because you offered.
To be honest,
you offered the 500.
That's what he's saying.
I'll get them up. I'll screenshot that in as well. Lenny's text offered me 500 for fantasy. Will come up right now for your viewing pleasure.
So fast forward 18 months. Stephen Lennon's homeless. He's lost everything. He keeps betting everything. Everywhere he goes, he just bets.
Yeah.
He's got a problem. He's got a problem.
He
Like.
thinks he's on a hot streak as
I'm
well.
on a very hot streak. So let's just go through a
it's
couple of
such
the things
rubbish.
I have
He did
called.
win a Phil Nick.
Well, it starts with Phil Mickelson, and maybe that was the.
Lenny, I'm going to
Sorry.
stop you there. If you continue this sentence, you're going to sound very O'Keefe, and I don't know if you want to do it.
Wow.
Well, I'll continue. I'll
He
continue.
does want to see it. Yeah, he does, because everyone.
But I don't think I'll sound like Keith. So one of the first calls I made is Bruno Fernandes is not going to score at this tournament because he doesn't take the penalties.
Did you bet on that?
No,
but
he
I said it
didn't,
on the
because
pod.
he's a
But you
TikTok
didn't make the
pussy.
money though.
Yeah, he's a forfeit pussy. He could have had about another 3 forfeits on this pod if Lenny had backed his words. But he's too
I'm
big
not
a
like
pussy.
you. I don't
He's
live
too
and
big a
die by
pussy.
TikTok dances. I don't need
Well,
other
you
people to do
do,
TikTok
because
dances.
you'll bet 250
Well,
quid, but you won't bet a
You're
forfeit.
TikTok away.
So
It would be boring, as Jason said. It would be boring if
Yeah,
the rest of you just kept doing TikToks all the time.
Believe me,
I have said that.
You earning 250 quid off Sully for Bruno Fernandes versus a TikTok for
I
whoever
don't need to
loses,
do that because I've
which
got
is
lots of,
which is more boring.
I don't want to be taking money off Sully all the time. It's unfair on him.
Well, you've
like-
already got 500 quid's worth of bets up against him. So what
Yeah,
the
and
fuck
that's as
are you
much as I want
talking
to
about?
take, especially when I got
No.
to take the O'Sullivan
No.
Lennon Scratch Cup back this year as well. It'll be too much for him to take. So that was the first call. That's the first call.
And a
Second call I made-
Lannister seemingly pays his debts, although
he
their
doesn't.
debt
He
remains unpaid there. But
Yeah.
however,
Lannister
He
always
does
pays his
on
debts.
90-day credit terms. He pays his debts.
Yes. yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's the cash conversion cycle. It's not my fault if it's
it's
not
about
very well.
180 by now. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for something to fill up that cup.
Unbelievable.
But your accounts, you still got those accounts receivable. This next call. Portugal being hyped up to the gills and being fucked out of it. Here we are.
Unbelievably unlucky. Did you see the XG for that game? Portugal had an XG of 2, Belgium 0.25. Like it was a hammering that somehow Belgium got through. It's like
From
when
a
those
fantasy
FA Cup
perspective,
teams.
I had a couple of different players from each team there. I expected that to be like the other games. I expected that like a 2-2, a 3-2. I really thought that was going to be the way that game would play out.
Yeah. Actually,
I
though,
love
must say-
Ronaldo. I just think he's amazing. He is
Yeah,
amazing,
James.
and I just
It's
want
your
to
soft spot.
I think Ronaldo will still be around next year for the World Cup, won't he? So
Of course he will. Of
maybe
course
that
he will.
come- maybe that
He
comes
might
out
even
there.
make the next Euros.
I just think the balance is all wrong in that team. I have to say one thing about that. Fair play to Renato Sanchez for being the best player of the tournament 5 years ago, then going completely missing and
then
being
showing
shit,
up
and then
again.
just starting off where he finished.
But
Well,
seemingly
yeah,
he was
years
good for
later.
Lille during the year as well.
He was, yeah.
Um,
They
right,
won the
yeah.
title.
Yeah,
They won the
Lil,
title.
that's a serious achievement. Like, and there was already talks of him leaving. I think he could be Premiership bound.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Mm.
he was very good, and Portugal were very good. Only that
Portugal-
shitty goal from Thorgan Hazard is the worst
Yeah.
keeper mistake I've seen.
I
Uh,
saw actually.
I don't know the Simon one for Spain.
Well, yeah,
Right.
sorry, yeah, it's just a terrible goalkeeping mistake.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like as in we were talking about balance there, like as in like the first game that they played. Okay, sorry, it was against Hungary, but you were looking at that and it was like Carvalho and Danilo playing like holding in front of Diaz and Pepe. You're like, just like this is like a solid
There is.
base kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and the
They
fullbacks
were
were
awful in
decent,
that game.
but the fullbacks were dreadful every game since.
They were the only they're the only team out of Portugal, Germany, and Brazil and France to beat Hungary. Like the other two drew. Like they dominated Belgium. Pepe had Lukaku like sewn up in his pocket. Like it wasn't even like it was an absolute like Lukaku
Pepe
did
is some
nothing.
dog.
And
Like-
Pepe's what, 40 years old, like 39 or something. Like
He's pretty old.
he
7, I
absolutely
think.
dominated Lukaku.
Yeah.
It was the luckiest win like I've seen this tournament, like without a doubt.
I have to say, Jota was actually crap all tournament. Like, he was certainly crap in those last couple of games.
So overrated.
And then did I see today? That was the group of death, and all of them died. None of those 14 got past the round. of
Holy
16.
shit!
so
I didn't even
funny,
think about that. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Stephen
What about-
Lennon
what
saw
about
that
our
online
dark
today. He
horses?
did not.
Did anyone get it?
Stephen Lennon did not come up with that on his own. That was.
I said I saw it online today, Jay.
Yeah. Okay.
The dark horses. So it was me and Fox of Ukraine who are the only one left. but Denmark and Czech Republic. So basically, if Czech Republic are going to win, basically, because I think Denmark, I'm not sure, were they in the bottom 12? They might have been like 10th or 11th. I'm not sure. But,
yeah, so you've lost. You've lost.
Well, no, unless Ukraine beat England, we've lost, because Czech Republic were definitely lower odds than Ukraine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but fallen giant, Steve thought he had it in the bag. He predicted Portugal to be the fallen giant, and then France and Germany. Well, no, just France actually going and losing was it really perked me up. It just perked me up.
It's still a good
I was
call.
having a bad week.
But who picked them as the fallen giant?
Steve picked Portugal as the fallen giant.
And who picked France and...
No one picked France, but you can only win it if you were the highest odds that went out at that round. And France went out the same round as Portugal. Portugal were the third favourites for the tournament.
But surely it should
France
be the highest odds of the four of us.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then O'Keefe and Fox are quids in with Ukraine.
Well, then I'm quid in
dark horses, but the fallen giant, like, surely
Why
it's
is that?
Like, surely it's not the whole tournament.
Well, then you could say.
I feel like
I think I backed the Netherlands.
Top scorer. So, like, if someone had Schick, or I don't know, whoever, but like Ronaldo ends up top scorer,
I agree with
then
Brian,
they should win.
because we can get ourselves out here because you have nothing.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Sonny's in trouble. Yeah.
So if we were to go the other way, because I don't think any of us are going to get anything else, because like.
Well, sorry, I also believe
we all have
that
France.
We don't have any attributed points to this thing, so there's no way.
I know, yeah. That's what I'm waiting for Brino to come up with.
I've come up with the points.
Yeah, and he'll reveal them at some point at a later date.
Yeah.
He can fuck everybody else in the podcast over.
My Netherlands losing was that fucks my fan. Like that was the nail in the coffin for my fantasy.
But I thought you advised otherwise, Brian. You advised.
I did advise otherwise, but like over a 38-week season, playing the percentages.
No, Brian. This is the advice you provided.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my advice
for once.
No.
Well, fair enough.
No, I won't, because the advice that I provided you, if you'd followed, you'd ended up like me with 59 points, the top scoring.
What are you on about?
Top scoring player in our league this
What are you on about? You had Benzema. That's the only thing. I had Benzema in at one point. I took him out because there was too many options for France.
Mila.
Yeah, I had Mila too.
12 points. Yeah.
Too.
Another 12 points.
Like as in like.
I had Spinazzola, another 5 points.
I had him too.
Yeah. So you listen to some of my recommendations.
What are you on about? Like, what are you on about?
You finished 22 points behind me. You finished 22
and I was
points
disgusted to do so. But like, if you were talking, I would have had more Danish or more Italian defenders, or Netherlands defenders.
Yeah, look, I finished as the top scorer. If you'd followed I followed my advice, because I gave my advice to myself. So if you had followed it, you would have ended up with 59 points. Now, to be fair, Sully, although it was looked into one of the most unbelievable 37 pointers, he took no subs. He had no subs. I mean, it's just.
I had to roll the dice. I had to take the fellas who were most involved for their team. I had to roll the dice because, otherwise,
it was the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. So it's like showing up to a game of football with 11 players and no bench. Like, you have to have subs to come on to change the game. Like, it was shocking. Brian. It was shocking. It was the worst. It was the worst fantasy team. But I said I wanted it to work out for you. Now, unfortunately, James Fox,
has worked out for him.
And it did work out, and I'm delighted about it. But it was idiotic.
Advice idiotic?
No, my advice got me 59 points.
I played the percentages, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got me 59 points.
Realized that I had the limitless.
What's the lesson here?
The lesson here is
never listen to Brian in any topic or any subject. Just don't even listen to him. Don't even talk to him.
I mean, you can do that if you want. But I always beat you all in everything.
I didn't ask for any advice.
No,
unsolicited
definitely not everything.
Well, James, with your 18 points and your captain Tyrone Mings on your last day.
Play the cards you left.
I had to go for
swing for the ditches moment. That was a swing for the ditches moment. You never know. He could have come on with like 2 minutes to go to head the ball out and scored from the corner.
So first of all, when I picked my team, I actually thought, I was like, yeah, look, got a lot of Italians, got a lot of Dutch people on there. I went for it, just didn't work out. Had to keep changing captain. Your man got sent off. Couldn't sub him out. It was terrible. It was a terrible week. Like, I kept trying to move the captain. Probably should have left it on Pogba, but I thought France might get a clean sheet at least. Wrong there again.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good week.
I had my captain on Havertz, and then I swapped to Sterling, and then I swapped back.
Yeah, Sterling had to be the play there just because he's in form. But
I had an awful week.
All I was trying to think of with my whole team for last week was who are the most likely from their sides. Do you know what I mean? As in, like Italy had just they had 3 or 4 different attacking players that any one of them could have done the business, and that's why I decided against Benzema, because it could be Griezmann, it could be Mbappe, it could be Benzema. But it was just it was just so funny. I was just like, no, like Germany are going to pull this off. It's going to be like 2-1, and Havertz is going to get one of those, and whatever.
Havertz played bloody well, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's been playing well, and it was just because he's been getting on the end of crosses. That's basically what I was playing. But so was Sterling. That was that was the play.
I think it's all to play for anyway. I mean, Bruno's not that far ahead. Bruno didn't realize that every team underneath him had Forsberg.
That is unbelievable. Okay, so I will. What odds do you want on any of you beating me? So all 3 of you can go for it.
I don't want any fucking odds. I don't need odds on everything, Brian. I just beat you.
Right. No, you're definitely not going to beat me.
Oh, Keith against the field.
Yeah. No, because I know I'm definitely not favored since Diaz's wildcard. I've only 8 players to play.
Would you stop talking about Diaz? Like, it's just like it's either
7.
TikTok or Diaz. Like,
do you have a wildcard, Brian?
I think no, I don't have a wildcard, so that's why Diaz.
So you've used your wildcard and you're limitless.
Yes, I use my limitless.
Oh my god!
I thought you knew the rules.
Wildcard as well.
I did.
Idiot.
Low beams.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Of course, you're in a house of cards. Honestly, you're going to be leading because you've used all your ammo.
I mean, I have so many metaphors to use about playing fantasy with you 3. It's unbelievable. You're like the kids at the playground who are like, "Oh, my older brother's going to beat the shit out of you because you said something to me." No, Diaz is going to beat you.
Like Lenny,
for the record, I cheer nobody to beat.
I will say, Solly is defensible there. It's Fox and
I have
Lenny,
no interest in. I'm only interested in beating him myself.
Yeah, Lenny, like, honestly, you'd think Carl Diaz was his brother or he's like fucking member of his family, the way he's like. I get a text about Carl Diaz from Lenny every night. I've spoken to the guy over Instagram like twice, but I can now get texts from Lenny. Lenny has like chants invented about Carl Diaz. It's unbelievable. He's never even met the fucker. Like, and
I caught up with Diaz today, and he was kind of like, "What the fuck is up with Brian?" And I'm like, "Oh."
That's fair. There's someone coming up your arse.
How much time do you have? How much time do you have?
Lennon guy. I've got a lot of DMs from him.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's like
if you hold it together.
Probably on all social channels.
If you hold it together,
this guy Stephen Lennon keeps poking me on Facebook.
Donkey on the way to his house.
Yeah, Lenny's the biggest fanboy. He's the biggest Diaz dick rider since his girlfriend.
He's supposed to win. He's also getting free merch as well. So listen, if you want to.
But he's getting free merch anyway, and the BTO Keith challenge, you were like, "Oh well, everyone's gonna get free." No, it looks like no one, because I'm definitely gonna finish in the top 3. So everyone's gonna get their merch for finishing in the top 3. So now, like, it's literally, I will finish second. I am probably 3 or 4 to 1 to finish first, and Diaz is about 6 or 7 to 1 on. With the wildcard, it's the Netherlands game just completely fucked me. If that had gone the other way, I
can't believe you use your wildcard. Like, you're living in a house of
cards.
Look, obviously,
like I say, I'm not going to discuss fantasy with
like
amateurs.
You're talking about metaphors.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Metaphors. The clip to insert here is the image of Randy from South Park, which is the blow beans everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's one where he's juicing. He's basically been juicing the whole tournament because he's been using all his cards up. Whereas,
which is legal.
Your performance is going to drop off.
It did. No players. It didn't drop off last week.
Minus 16 points for transfers.
You can't afford to sell. You can't to take a 4-point hit as well because.
Look, I had no cards to play this week, right? I'd already
like a family in 2011 in negative equity.
Everyone.
I still had.
It was free transfers.
I still had the top scorer in our league this week. with no chips. So I mean, I'm a different level.
Nobody
Honestly,
was allowed to play chips this
discussing-
week, Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we all
well-
got free transfers. So now you're going up against
Okay,
chips
well
with,
then,
with
yeah.
half a hand.
Okay, no, so everyone is on an equal playing field. Thanks, Sully. And I still, on an equal playing field, hammered everybody. I took the piss.
Nah, it's not an equal playing
James
field.
Fox
You got the scoreboard
18
pressure.
points.
You got scoreboard
James
pressure
Fox,
from using
I
your
have no
cards.
pressure.
I
From
really want to
using-
get one of those
no
one of those
pressure.
buttons to cue the audio and just cue JJ. Let's hear it.
It's boring.
It's
Yeah,
boring.
boring.
James Fox had 18 points. That's what's boring. Having
Yeah,
like a -3 in defense from Delict. Like, why you would choose Delict at all is beyond me. Like, I mean, he's just not a
would you choose
fantasy
him?
option.
Why would you choose him?
Because you had Dumfries as a better option who scored 2 goals in the tournament and is cheaper. I mean, it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
I liked him. You
Yeah,
know
I
how I
know
feel
you
about
did,
players.
but
If I
this
like
is
them, I
why-
go for them.
This is why, right, James? James, actually, I have a little proposition for James Fox.
Please, Brian.
James, I think he might like this because I think Sully isn't going to fuck it up against Steve Lennon. Now, like he's got his limitless. James, if you take my advice in fantasy and you lose to Steve Lennon, I'll give you 100 quid. But if you don't, so you take my advice for the rest of the campaign,
Yeah.
and you lose Steve Lennon, I'll give you 100 quid. You still have to do your TikTok, but I'll give you 100
Why
quid.
not just
But-
put the 100 quid in Lenny's little,
Why don't you
No,
send me the 100
but
quid?
cute
but
little- cute
no,
little
because
something.
because then
Dance
I
now.
think as long as James Fox beats Lenny, then Lenny's on a TikTok, and I
It's
think I think
desperate. This is
what would
desperate
really get everyone's dick hard is Steve
I don't
Lennon
think- I think
doing a
Brian-
TikTok.
First of all, I think James could beat me without your shitty advice. So let's put that. out
You
there.
definitely can't. Judging by what he did this week, he definitely can't.
Whoa, man!
Take
If
your vote off
Italy,
this
if
bullshit.
Italy had fucking steamrolled the other team, and fucking
Yeah, mate. If fucking Netherlands had beaten, like, if
Yeah.
my auntie was my uncle, look, I know, I lost half
You
my
expect
team
James
this
to
week.
take. You expect James to take this and have to actually take your
'Cause
fucking shitty advice.
Well,
I'd say
I don't
the
know.
chance
I would
of
pay
that-
100
well,
quid
it's
not
it's
to
a
have to
free,
listen to
it's a
this.
0%
free,
and minus 20%.
it's a free hit for James.
Fucking money.
It's a free hit for James. He can take my advice, and if he does, and he beats you, he doesn't have to do TikTok. And if he loses to you, he does, but he gets 100 quid for taking my advice. So I think it's like free.
You see,
It's a
Brian,
win-win for James Fox.
it's not.
It
It's
it
not.
is.
You see,
It is. How is it not?
Because he has to listen to your bullshit.
But yeah,
If
but
I
he
had to
doesn't have to
go
listen.
to,
I'm just
like,
going
you
to tell
know-
him what team to put.
you see, from actually a few pods ago, and obviously, James obviously won a bet against Brian one day, and he traded it for a sandwich. But I know
Yeah,
deep
that
down.
cliff is coming, by the way. That
Oh
cliff
yeah,
is
but
coming.
that's good. That's good. But I know deep down I won, and I have something over
Yeah.
Brian that he told me in that taxi coming back from Tijuana to San Diego, and that will always be very close to me.
Okay,
And whenever
that's
there's a
not
time I
sense.
need to throw something in Brian's face, that'd be that.
Okay.
But I feel Brian's trying to help me
Yes.
to help
Beat
you.
Steve. Yeah.
So
Well, not help me.
This
Help
is why I would
you
never-
to help
Brian, this
all
is-
of us.
no,
beat
Brian,
Steve.
because this is I feel this would be like, hey mate, look, I love dancing.
This
Like, I
is
mean,
an
you don't know
anybody
me.
but Steve proposition. It is an
The
anybody but
anybody
Steve.
No, but I just
proposition
feel,
is
Brian,
minus
like, you need to-
anybody
you-
but
you-
Brian proposition.
I'll be
Yeah,
added to
but
the
the-
hard drive. I'll be added to the hard drive, and he'd be like,
Look,
oh
you
yeah,
get.
fuck, you
You
remember
can
that
even,
fucking time
look,
I helped
won't,
you out?
okay, well, I won't give you 100 quid, and you can add it to the hard drive if you lose. Like, I don't know what. Like, it's such a win-win for James Fox because
Fox,
I
I'm
know
going to
I
give
can
you
beat
this
Stephen
unsolicited
Lennon.
advice anyway, no matter what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
I'm the
exactly.
type of guy as well. I'd
You're gonna be
listen to the
peppered.
advice.
So
I'd
exactly.
listen to the
So
advice.
why
I'm
not
like,
take?
Saturday
why-
morning
Hey,
at 8
Brian.
a.m.
Brian.
Exactly, Sully. So why not take 100 quid if you lose? So I'm going to give it to him anyway. But now I'm proposing.
You give me 100 quid. I'm fucking lost
if-
already, like, to be honest.
You haven't lost. You haven't. Steve has had a shocker.
No,
You
you
have
didn't
the you. Steve has used his limitless shit. Lenny isn't a terrible fantasy player, but
think we're-
you're just.
Are we
a bit
close to
worse.
muting Brian at this stage? We must be close
Yeah.
to muting him.
It's times like this, like,
Yeah. I definitely
Usually-
know the gin and tonic having listened to that bullshit for the last 5 minutes.
and also I'll have to bring my lawyer in because This is way
because
too
you can't
boring for me.
negotiate yourself.
This is
Because
just
you
way
let-
boring
yeah.
for me. Way to listen anyway. Like so, man to man, friend to acquaintance.
Friend to intern.
I want you to have a think about it and come back to me
No.
with
I
a much better
I
offer.
have had to think about it. I rescind my offer. You're not even getting the offer that I offered because it's such a good offer. So you're getting nothing now. Enjoy your TikTok when you lose to Lenny because Sully will beat Lenny because Lenny's shit, but you are the shittest fantasy player I've ever known.
No, I'm coming back hot this week. I know exactly what to do.
You don't know what to do.
I do.
You proved that you don't know what to do last week when you captained Tyrone Mings, who was never going to start.
That was a last roll of the dice.
It
That
doesn't
was the
matter.
last roll of the dice. You had to go along the whole way.
You
I was
played
looking for
Delict.
points.
You played Delict. It was crazy. Your whole team is a mess. I mean, it frustrates me so much that I have to talk to you three about fantasy because it's
You know what?
honestly,
I like him nice and riled up because it's not like he doesn't get riled up on a normal
and like
podcast.
I
But
have
he's got
so
his
many
dance around his
metaphors.
living room this evening as well. And he's
Yeah,
gonna
well,
be
I'm
a
looking
nut-
forward to that. But I have so
yeah.
many metaphors
I'm not
for what
sure.
it is, and it's honestly, it's like your three Alabama creationists debating evolution with Charles Darwin. That's what it's like.
Oh.
You said
That is what
you
it's
said that
like.
last week, and it made just as little sense then as
Yeah.
it does now. So
How
are we
does
going to set that? Are we going to set this Darwin metaphor every week? Have you just read an
I have a
encyclopedia?
few of them.
Have you just read an encyclopedia? You
I
also got
have-
the D. Have you
I
got the D
haven't.
encyclopedia?
Oh, I was just
No,
reading
but
it and I came
this is-
across
Go on,
this.
give us
This
the
is-
Guinness
this
Book
is
of
the
Records gag
encyclo-
again. Give us the Guinness Book of Records.
This is the
gag again.
encyclopedia.
What are we
I
dancing?
have. I'm a fantasy god, and the fact that you even get to talk to me about fantasy, you should literally just be sucking my dick to get like one piece of advice from me.
It's
I
very
should be
crude.
charging you.
All right, Brian,
this
tell
shit.
us. What should I do with my team then?
No, I'll take that offline, James.
Boys, is that time for our betting section?
Yes,
I believe it is. And there's probably only one place to start, and that is probably with Brian O'Keefe.
No, I lost my third loss in a row, which is the first time that's happened to me this season, unlike some other people.
Yeah, so I had Denmark -1 at 6 o'clock kickoff or the 5 o'clock kickoff for you boys. I'd say about 10 minutes into that game, it was very evident that Denmark were going to absolutely hose them. Brian O'Keefe said as much on his phone.
Yeah.
And you're still a bit worried, but they got that first goal kind of reasonably early, and then I think they got a second before halftime, and then it was like toast.
They didn't. It was 1-0 at halftime, and they should have got a second before halftime. And I was hoping that Wales would like get it together, and then immediately after halftime, it was like the 46th minute.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
So I tried to facilitate you guys last week by taking the kind of dodgy enough game to bet on because Germany were so fucking short, and Hungary again gave it socks, and that goal straight away after Germany
Was unbelievable,
equalizing, was it?
Yeah, Germany equalized, and then
straight
that was
back down
unbelievable.
and just fucking like
it's like 10 seconds.
Press. It was literally just. They obviously just called it and said, right, just absolutely shoot our shot here. It was class. That bet was absolutely dust. Germany were poor, really, in that.
JJ
Fox?
Yeah, again, I felt like I was being pushed into a corner last week because Brian was throwing his toys out of his pram.
Well, you would have lost anyway with the bet that you were trying to force me out of. You had 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1, and it finished 0-0. So would have been lost anyway.
I don't know. I thought I had another bet, but
no,
you
didn't.
Left the pod here, went straight to the Fox and Bulldog, a few beers with Brother Ed, and Poland-Sweden game was brilliant, very, very enjoyable. Not the result I was looking for, but yeah, just
so you had Poland to win.
Poland beat Sweden, yeah. And they did lose, which was a bit annoying.
Yeah. So you are now, in fact, on 2 losses in a row. So it's TikTok week for James following TikTok week for Stephen Bryan.
Well, there's a lot of people who could go for TikTok this week.
Nope, just one, you. Sully next week if he loses this week. Sully's on.
Oh,
one.
yes.
Solly's on 1, Solly's on 1 loss, James on 2 losses, Brian's on 3, but luckily I restart.
But if Brian
And-
loses again,
No, if
he's
Brian
on
goes to
TikTok
4
again.
before his TikTok comes out,
Where's TikTok?
he's doing a naked TikTok.
Yeah.
So obviously picking 2 bets for this week is going to go out to the public. I have, so I'm looking at, 2 bets here. My first bet is very simply Denmark to beat Czech Republic, and that's at 21-20. And then my second bet is Denmark to win, which is the bet I love, 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1, and that's at 9-5.
I go next then because I was last week. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to pick the England-Ukraine game. England to win and both teams to score is 11-4 and was a strong consideration.
Well,
Crazy.
England
But-
haven't conceded a goal
I
yet.
haven't conceded a goal yet.
go for it, Sully.
Because it was 11-4. But England -1, 6-5. Or England halftime, England full time, 11-10.
I have the Spain-Switzerland game. I have 2 bets. I have second half over 1.5 goals. Just it seems to be the way with Spain. They do second half, same with Switzerland. A lot of goals in the second half. So over 1.5 is 11-10.
Interesting.
And then both teams to score, which is I think even money on Switzerland, Spain. So they're my 2.
I like that second half one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the goals have been done in the second half, apart from
What
Ukraine
happens?
and
0-0.
Yeah.
Probably.
Steve?
Yeah, so I selected, I think we've been saying that, but actually we were all dealt these bets, dealt the games to bet on.
Well,
I was given
yeah.
the most difficult one to call because I'm the best at this game.
He
So-
says that having just looked out of a TikTok. It's
So,
unbelievable. Like-
I am on Belgium.
To do a Lenny on it. If you count back all the picks,
Yeah.
I would come out on top.
I am on Belgium, Italy.
Like you call me Teflon. He's under the radar fucking tungsten or something. It's unbelievable.
What is tungsten?
Tungsten, yeah, just
So I'm gonna.
heaviest metal, but whatever.
My two bets are under 1.5 goals, which I think was at like something like evens. And then the other one, been debating this until this very moment, but it just struck me that I have to go with Belgium win, which I believe is 12-5. Was it? Or sorry, 8-5? Something anyway.
I think Belgium were 12-5. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking Italy, but actually I really, really want Belgium to go through because it'll
Or
just
11-5
make
now.
you look like a fucking moron, Brian. So, and I'm all on that.
So we'll send those out to the public. So we don't know what the odds are yet, but we'll send them out. And when we get the results, JJ Foxamoré is going to place the bet, and we'll let you know what happens.
All right, fellas, we crack on with the quiz, shall we?
Yes. So this week it is the I ran out of Euro questions quiz. So I've moved away. I thought maybe, Steve Lennon likes to do a bit of study. Yeah, I thought maybe he'd get on the 88, 92, maybe 96 euros. But I've done a complete roundabout.
I haven't done any study, but
You would definitely study.
Oh, he'd study. He's
With
like-
glasses that big, you know he's
Yeah.
always going to try and study something.
yeah, exactly.
ridiculous.
Standard rules: 1 answer per player before free for all. Double or nothing will be offered for the winner of the quiz, and a TikTok dance forfeit for anyone that gets 0 answers this week. Question 1: which Italian striker left a partnership with Gabriel Batistuta to play for Derby for 3 seasons in the late 1990s?
Great question, Brian. Paolo Wanchop?
Nope, not just Inter.
Costa Rican.
Montana.
Sorry, Montella. No,
Chiesa.
no, free for all. Definitely forgettable.
Ravanelli.
No,
I'm not going to get it.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
I've given up.
Yeah, the answer is Francesco Baiano.
Baiano.
Oh, I could have got that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Question
get it, couldn't find it.
2. Which Italian played for Everton for one season in 97-98, got sent off 4 times in 27 games at Goodison Park before leaving?
What was it? Last bit up.
Got sent off 4 times in 27 games at Goodison Park before leaving after one season.
It's a good. Sounds like a very difficult quiz we're about to embark on here.
This is
They're
probably
good
the easiest one. This is probably the easiest one.
This is probably the easiest question.
Well, I think this is a very easy question, but you'll kick yourself in this one. This guy is world famous.
Costa Curta.
No,
Canaggio.
no, you're both out. Fox.
Pablo Amor,
No, free for all.
Dino Baggio,
No,
Casaraghi,
no,
Maldini.
no.
Maldini.
Maldini.
Everybody
No,
got on loan.
Oh god.
Berzagli.
no. The answer is Marco Materazzi. And
Oh
we
my God.
probably should have gotten that. That
Yeah, I
was,
don't think I would have got that.
97.
Marco-
He must have been like 18.
No. Sure, he was like 36 at 2006 when Zidane headbutted him. Two questions in. No points on the board. TikToks still available, which
Good
I
quiz.
like to hear.
This is what Brian has obviously done because he knew he was on a TikTok,
Yeah,
so he
he's
just made the
like-
quiz impossible to get everyone on one.
No, I just needed to spice things up. Question 3: Which Brazilian international joined Spurs from PSV?
Paulinho,
No, in 2008, and went on to play more than 10 seasons in England.
Gilberto.
No, sorry, I'll give you 3 seconds.
No, hang on. Spurs player.
Yeah,
Played
3.
10 seasons. He came to.
I'm not saying he played 10 seasons at Spurs.
No,
but-
he
Yeah.
It's evident that he didn't do that.
Yeah. So, 3.
Hang on. That's way
No,
too quick.
It's not for a free for all.
no,
It's way too quick for an end, but not
Yeah,
for
come
a
on.
free for all.
So
3, 2, 1. Free for all.
Paulista,
No,
it's the same.
not even a
No.
not even a player.
no,
But Paulinho, I think
Roca
it-
Santa Cruz. Or sorry,
No.
Emerson Tome.
No,
Wednesday player. Would have got him.
2008.
Nielsen.
no.
Oh, Gomez, the goal.
Yes, and Steve
I was
is
thinking-
off.
I was
Is he Brazilian?
But I just
Yeah.
Is he Brazilian?
Oh,
Rhino is so disappointed with that.
I am disappointed with that. I thought Fox would get that very early. So, question 4: Which Brazilian fullback played for 4 Premier League teams between 2009 and 2017? 3 of which no longer play in the Premier League.
Okay. It's one of the brothers, De Silva's. Fabio.
Yes, Steve too. Like
Guess.
that was so easy. Yeah, it was Fabio da Silva. Don't have to,
Who are the clubs? Cardiff?
Cardiff,
United.
QPR, and maybe Middlesbrough. I can't remember who the other one is. Question 5: Which Brazilian centre back played for 4 Premier League teams between 97 and 2004? 3 of which are no longer in the Premier League. Brazilian centre back.
Emerson Town.
Yes, Foxamoré. When that was mentioned earlier, I was like, no way. Yeah. So Sully is on a TikTok at the moment. But it's 2 for Steve and 1 for Fox. Question 6: Which French fullback played for 4 Premier League teams between 2005 and 2011? 3 of which are no longer in the Premier League.
Silvestre? No?
Nope, out. But I'm going to go straight to free for all pretty quickly.
Clichy.
No, free for all. He was pretty
Right.
memorable. Played for one of the one team that
Right.
wasn't that. It's a free for all, Fox.
Prayed for what?
He played
Evra.
he played for one of the ESL's Big Six.
Liz
Another-
Razzie.
No,
127.
he did play for 4 English
I
teams.
know. I was
He
fucking
never
trying to
played
do
in
that
England.
back.
So I'll give you another 5 seconds. I'll give you the answer.
Ugh. This is
No
really-
idea.
The answer is Pascal Chimbonda. Question 7. Which French midfielder played for 3 Premier League clubs between 2001 and 2011, 2 of which no longer play in the Premier League?
I hate this format of question,
It's
by
a
the way.
very good question.
fucking-
I like these questions, I have to say. They're very good.
Goodbye.
No.
Etienne Capoue.
No. I wouldn't take midfielder as being centre mid. That's the only clue I'll give here. As in, like, defensive. Or, yeah, anyway.
Let's go.
Djurkaeff?
No.
Malbranc?
Yes, Sully. No tick shot this week. Steve
Delighted.
Malbranc.
Delighted,
Yeah.
because I didn't want Brian's one to be diluted.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it won't be till next week anyway. But question 8, which Portuguese player was signed by Arsenal in 97, went on to play in England until 2011 for 4 different clubs?
Rui
Nelson.
Costa.
No.
Nelson Rivas.
No.
Luis Boa Morte.
Yes, but you're
But
Luis
Irish.
Morte.
Your answer,
so
Sully gets
Sully
that.
gets the point.
Oh, so stupid.
So Steve's on 2, Sully's on 2, and Fox is on 1. Question 9. Which Portuguese defender played for 3 Premier League teams between 99 and 07, one of which no longer plays in the Premier League?
Abel Xavier.
Yes, and it's all tied up. Abel Xavier. So it's
Great.
You know I like the Portuguese. That's why I got the last question right, and I got this question right. Like,
question 10. Which Spanish defender has played for 3 Premier League teams since 2010, 2 of which no longer play in the Premier League?
Marcos Alonso.
Yes. It's the only Chelsea question I put in. I thought I might trick Steve on that one.
No,
Straight
you
out,
can't trick
no.
me. Can't trick me.
Well, you've had as has been shown on Instagram, you've had a nightmare with some home questions. Question 11. Which Argentinian left back played for 2 Premier League clubs between 2000 and 2009, neither of which are still in the Premier League?
Zabaleta.
No. Right.
Heinze?
No.
So that was a
Neither-
trick question
neither-
because he.
Neither of the clubs that he played for are still in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, I was thinking because he went to Blackburn, I think.
Are you not talking about Gabriel Heinze, who played for Man United?
Yeah.
Yeah, but neither of the clubs he played for in the Premier League are still in the Premier League.
Sorry, I was okay. I thought it was like between 2. Okay.
One of them is in the Championship and one of them is in League One.
One of them's Portsmouth.
No, one of them is not Portsmouth. This guy was a decent player on Football Manager for a few years.
No, well, straight up your fucking alleyway, Steve.
He plays as much Football Manager as Brian
I
makes
would say Sully has more Football Manager experience. Won the clubs Middlesbrough.
Fox should be knowing this.
Oh,
Don't even know his name.
No,
Wonderland.
like could be Bolton as well.
No, Sunderland, because look at Brian's face.
Yeah.
It's gone red like a fucking rouge tomato.
Been red the whole evening. Oh,
Delary, no.
No. I'm going to give you the answer. Julio Arca.
Oh.
would never have got
So
that.
forgettable. So forgettable.
Never got
Yeah,
that.
Not
but he
sure
was-
about the Football Manager reference either.
He was unbelievable in Football Manager for about 2 different Football Managers. If he signed him a left back from Sunderland, he was one of the best players in the game. 12. Which Argentinian goalkeeper? Just before we get on to the last.
What are
question.
the scores?
Yeah, Steve's on 3, Sully's on 2, Fox is on 2.
Fuck
Steve, like shoving shit into his face.
I think I know the answer to this question,
Go on.
but go on.
No.
If
go
I
on.
get it, Speroni.
Yes, Julian Speroni. The question was which Argentinian goalkeeper played in England, mostly in the Premier League, until his retirement in 2019. And the answer is Julian Speroni.
It's outrageous. All you said was which Argentine goalie.
So Steve takes
Cover
down the
nothing.
quiz. Steve takes 4-2-2. That was unbelievably impressive. Yeah, I'll give it to Steve. I do have a tiebreaker.
Let's go for it.
It is in line Okay. So the season scores, Steve's on 4, Sully's on 1, Fox on 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second last season. Sorry, it's not the last Euro, second last Euro. It's the third last Euros quiz. So if Steve gets this, the Euros is over. So tiebreaker, all of you are going to guess one at a time. So Steve is going to go first, Sully's going to go second, and Fox is going to go third. So it's penalty shootout. It will be scored as such. If you're tied after 5 guesses, goes to sudden death until someone misses, and you're going to have 5 seconds each to guess. And the question this week is, I have the list of the 25 Croatian players to have ever played in the Premier League. It's only 25 of them. Steve.
Modric.
Yeah. Sully.
Eduardo. Eduardo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
that's
one.
excellent. That is
Good
excellent.
one. I thought that would be missed. Fox, 5 seconds.
That was Suker.
Yes. Yeah. That must be right. Where's his
He
name?
played for Arsenal and West Ham, yeah.
Yeah. 1. Steve. 5.
Kovacic.
Yes, that's correct. Sully, 5. I'm going to have to buzz here, so
Kufo.
no, 0.
Decent.
Please check. Fox, 5.
Modric.
He's already guessed. That's a 0.
Oh, sure.
Steve,
Struggling.
5. 4. Oh, what the fuck's happened? Steve,
What happened there?
I'm gonna have to buzz you. Steve.
Mandzukic.
No, he'd definitely never played in the Premier League. Sully,
Luca.
5. Corluka, great guess in there.
I was so distracted trying to find core something. I couldn't fucking think of any other player.
Fox, 5 seconds. I'm gonna have to buzz you, Fox. Did we guess?
Alan Bokchik.
Yes, and it's all tied up after 3 penalties. Everyone's on 2. Steve Lennon, 5.
Pasalic.
Who?
What?
Pasalic.
No, I don't know who you're talking about. No,
He played for Chelsea. He played for Chelsea and he scored a goal there at the weekend, but I'm just not sure if he played a Premier League game for Chelsea. Is that what you meant?
No, he definitely didn't. I've never heard of him, man.
What a spoofer.
He's not on my list. Sully, 5 seconds.
Kranjčar.
Yes, great one.
What the
That's
fuck?
who I was fucking trying to think of from
Yeah.
Spurs.
There's some very obvious ones you're missing, but anyway. It's Fox, 5 seconds.
Taking a while to get here. It's spelled Dourkaka.
No, there's no one with a D.
Okay.
All right, 0. Steve, last kick, the penalty, 5 seconds.
Lovren.
Yes, that was a very obvious one. Sully, 5 seconds.
Sorry, hang on. What's the score?
It doesn't matter. It's 5 seconds, Sully. Go.
Stolen.
Sully, this is to win, by the way. 3 seconds.
Yeah, bear with. You can't start to take us inside. There was so much fucking talk going on last week.
There was none.
30 seconds.
Look, you're getting 3 seconds from now. That's a miss. All right, JJ Foxamoré, to keep yourself in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if Thomas Rzinski.
No, he was Canadian, I think.
No, he's fucking weird.
Czech Republic. Radzinski
No,
was Canadian.
Rzinski, yeah, sorry.
Oh, Thomas Rosick.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Fox, you're out, and it's now direct penalty shootout between Steve and Sully.
Same game.
Same game.
Oh, we could be here all day,
Same
man.
game. There's some very obvious ones you've missed. So 5 seconds, Steve.
We're just going to go 5 seconds, right, until one of us thinks of
Yeah,
something.
it takes one. Zvonimir Boban.
No. Sorry, 5 seconds.
Bilic.
Yes, Slaven Village. And he steals it. And Sully's stolen for the second week in a row. He's stolen it. And this is the first time Steve has ever lost a quiz he's won to a steal. Love to see it. And now it's
Give us a couple more names there.
So Bosco Balaban. There's one for Derby County. I've never heard of. Igor Biscan for Liverpool. Yeah, everyone knows Igor Biscan. Yeah. Nikita Jelavic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was Croatian, or where was Smeeser from?
No, I don't know.
Czech Republic again.
Yeah.
Who are we? Like guess 3 Czech Republic players.
There was a guy from Nottingham Forest, Nikola Jurkan, never heard of him, 96, 97. Kalinic for Blackburn. Nikola Kalinic, he's memorable. Ivan Klasnic for Bolton, again, fairly memorable. Kramaric for Leicester, who I believe is actually in the Croatia team at the moment. Yeah.
Kramaric.
Filip Krovinovic, West Brom this year. Never heard of him. Silvio Maric, who was a Newcastle player. And Mario Stanic is the Chelsea one, the home one that Steve missed. Mario Stanic.
Not like Steve to miss a home question, but I'm pretty sure that was ahead of Steve's time. So I'm going to give Steve the benefit of doubt there.
He was 4 years at Chelsea as well. Stanic.
He's going to be straight on his phone after this, getting all the research on Mario.
Probably
Stanic.
the most forgettable but should be remembered one. Igor Stimac for Derby and West Ham. Played 5 years in the Premier League, 96-2001. Sully, congratulations. Sully has now made it a game.
We got a ball game, folks. We got a ball game.
Do we have a ball game? Is it not 4-2?
Yeah. It's 4-2. There's 2 weeks to go.
Love a little double down next week.
I could have just taken my points there and been finished with this.
You could have. But
you could have, Steve,
Sully,
but you're not that kind of guy.
It's a good win for Sully because he actually hasn't won a quiz, but he's won it.
He's got double steals. Yeah, very, very like Steve Lennon. He's got a few as well. It wasn't.
Did I win the first 2 of the putting it up for double or nothing, and then lost them to Steve?
Perhaps.
Definitely
Don't know.
No.
I mean, I've won so much at this stage; it's hard to keep track of.
But it's a good barometer for me because I made it a little bit harder this week, so I know how much harder I need to make it next week. So, very good barometer for the last quiz I'll ever master.
No, well, if I win it next week, then it keeps it all in.
Yeah, but I'm still going to compete in the final. So yeah, no, 100%. Well, I'm definitely not going to be quizmaster for the final. We have agreed. We have a fifth for the listeners. We have a fifth.
You're a better quizmaster.
No, I'm a better competitor, and I would be very, very scared if I was you three. Very scared.
I'd like Brino in the competition.
But yeah, that's it. Congratulations to Sully. Listeners, watch out for my dance moves coming soon. 2 in a row for Sully as well, which is great to see. And even that, there's been a lot more competitions, and Steve's gone off the boil. He used to win and then double down and win. Fox won last week. Sully stole it. This week, Steve won, but Sully stole it. So it's, Steve's lost it. He's lost it. Great to see.
Well, I mean, the pressure's not there when you're 4-0 up. So, listen, we'll see you next week.
We will.
All right, fellas. Thanks for your time. That was a blast. See you all again next week.
Pleasure.
Peace.